everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Spooky Sunday video. I hope you're having a really good day today, and if you are not, I'm sending you all my love and hopefully this video will cheer you up. If you are new here and you've never seen me before, hello, my name is Khlo. I do spooky and scary videos on Sundays, so if that's something that you might be interested in, then please subscribe. I'd love it if you'd stick around, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for being here with me. I love you. But in today's video, we are going to be reading stories about people who disappeared and what actually happened to them, which I think is kind of interesting. You don't really hear that very often, what actually happened to people who disappeared in strange ways, and I feel like it'd be kind of fun to explore that and see what actually happened to them. So without further ado, let's get on into today's video, and I hope you all like it. Okay, so I'm not going to read every single story off this list, so I'll have the source linked in the description, but the title of the article is People Who Disappeared Share What Happened, which sounds really interesting to me. And the title of the first story is Somnambulant, a somnambulant stroll. I like how I had to break up the word before I could say the whole thing. Anyway, a somnambulant stroll. I went sleepwalking one night when I was 10 years old, unlocked the front door and went for a stroll through the neighbourhood. I woke up a few hours later in the middle of the street, barefoot, in a cul-de-sac I'd never been in before. Scared the bejesus out of me. Ended up running through the streets until I found my way back home. My parents had been shitting bricks looking all over for me. They had put a lock on my door after that, so I couldn't go for any more midnight strolls. I have a little bit of an issue with this story. I understand that they're putting the lock on the door so they don't go for more strolls and potentially get hurt, but putting a lock on the door may not be good, because what if something was happening in their bedroom and they needed to get out but it's locked so they can't get out, or if there's a fire they can't get out, or what if they need the toilet but the door's locked? I feel like putting a lock on the door isn't the right thing. There could have been other things that they could have done that were a little less extreme and less dangerous than putting a lock on someone's door. I'm guessing the lock was put on the outside of the door, because if it was on the inside of the door, they could just unlock it themselves and go out the room and the lock would be pointless. So, I don't know. I don't think it's good putting a lock on the door. This one is called An Intensive Search. No, I'm not breaking up the word so that I can say intensive. It is genuinely written as intensive search. I'm guessing maybe a tent has got something to do with it, I don't know, but it goes. So back when I was in Boy Scouts, my troop lost me twice in the same night while I was still in my tent. This is not an exaggeration. The story is thus: we were at Camp Decorah in Iowa. We had the idea to go and perform a raid on the councillors' tents / cabins. I, however, was feeling ill, so I specifically said, "I'm not feeling well, I'm gonna go to sleep." They acknowledged this, expressed regret that I was not coming along, and went to have their fun. They have their fun. They retreat into the wood line when they take a head count and I am not in the head count. They expect me to be in the head count because they forgot. So now there is a missing camper. The entire camp is set to searching for me. Sometime during this, a guy from my troop decides to, get this, check the tents. I am in my tent, as I should be, so he goes to report that I am found. I go to the bathroom during this time. Someone comes back to the camp and checks my tent. I'm in the bathroom, so I'm not in the tent. I am now missing again. I get found sooner this time. That one wasn't creepy. It's just a case of people forgetting, probably, maybe in the excitement, forgot that someone got left in a tent. I thought some of these were going to be creepy. I'm yet to find a creepy one, so hopefully the next few may be a little bit scarier. This one's called 12 Lost Days, so maybe this one will be interesting from the title. I had a 12-day period of dissociative amnesia while I was in the US Air Force. I was doing laundry one Sunday night while waiting to start extra cleaning duty, and I woke up 12 days later to my supervisor shaking me awake in my dorm room. No one saw me for those 12 days. No one heard from me. I was not a recluse. I was extremely outgoing and easily noticed. How I vanished for 12 days is amazing. I was considered AWOL. Got an Article 15 out of it, was medically separated with a $25,000 surveillance, and told by the USAF psychiatrist that I was useless to the USAF. I couldn't explain it, and though every pill I was prescribed and some therapy, they couldn't unlock my brain. It said that it does not happen to people who are in their older 20s, but it did. It happened the one time. My brain scan showed that the hole everyone has is larger in yours, kind of thing. I never looked into it because I really don't want to know what I did. I had no other reason to desert. I was in for over 6 years at that point. I'd been to PSAB Saudi, South Korea, France, Spain, and was in Germany at the time. I fucking loved my time enlisted and would do it again. Interesting. I wonder where he was in those 12 days. I understand that he doesn't want to look into it because it's probably a little bit scary, but if it was me, I think the curiosity would get to me too much and I'd want to know exactly where I'd been and what I'd done. It would like irk me and irritate me to just not know what's happened for 12 days of my life. 12 days is a long time to not know what was going on. And also, maybe you should look into it, because if it is some sort of medical condition, it'll probably be better to catch it now than later. This one's called Volcanic Terror. I was hiking to see the volcanic eruption back in 2010, the one before all the grounded flights. On the way back, I got separated from my group. We were about 8 to 10 people, one of whom was a very good friend of mine. Anyway, I tend to walk pretty fast, especially on my way down from a mountain. This was in March in Iceland, so it gets pretty dark pretty soon. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have a torch on me, and in maybe half an hour, everything went pitch black. I had chosen to walk the same path as the one I went up. This was extremely stupid of me, as that path was about 5 meters away from a 15-meter drop into a canyon. Not only that, but the path was beside a waterfall. Waterfalls tend to have a lot of mist coming from them. Said mist goes onto the path, and because this is March in Iceland and on a mountain, it's about -5 degrees Celsius without wind chill. That mist turns to basically an ice skating rink on a 45-degree angle. That was an experience. I had been lost for about 5 hours. I didn't turn up until I got down from the mountain, but I was one of 20 that got lost that Saturday, 2 of whom perished. Icelandic SAR groups were quite busy at the time. Oh my gosh, like 2 people died? That's the scary thing about it, is it's kind of like when people go and climb Mount Everest. Yeah, it's exciting, and it'd be crazy to be like, oh my god, I climbed Mount Everest. But the dangers for me outweigh the positives. I just don't think I could do it. I think I can live the rest of my life never climbing Mount Everest. And this story kind of reminds me of that. You are so lucky to have survived. I can't even imagine what it would have been like had the ground been really slippy and you were trying to walk down this thing pitch black. I was gonna say maybe you could have just slept until the morning, but I guess if it's so cold and all you have is the stuff on your back, that's not gonna keep you warm, and you may have died from hypothermia. So it's an impossible situation, and I understand the logic of going back the way you came, but I don't know. Maybe just don't walk too fast if you're in this situation, and always stay next to everyone else. This one's called An Unfortunate Discovery. I walked out of my life when I came home to find another man in bed with my girlfriend. Spent a year hitchhiking. No missing persons report, no one looked for me, no one missed me. That one was really short. I'm really sad, what the heck? No one missed you. Oh my god, that one was really sad. I'm glad you're okay, but at the same time, I don't like that. Not even a parent reported you missing, or a friend, or a girlfriend. That's insane. This one's called Just a Night Out. I was at a college house party. I went there with several friends. I didn't have a cell phone yet, managed to hold out until 2004. Our dorm rooms came with landlines at the time. I ended up going home with the guy and hooking up with him. Woke up the next day, checked my email on his computer and found a ton of frantic emails from my friends. They actually thought that I had been taken or had taken my own life. I was very depressed at the time. They filed a missing person report with campus security, and several friends were searching for me in the woods. My friends thought it was more likely that I'd gotten taken than gotten laid. Wow. To be fair, if you're going to go home with someone, you should probably tell your friends where you're going. I know it may have been a spur of the moment type thing, but it takes 2 seconds just to go to your friends and be like, hey, I'm going with this guy. A, because he could have been dangerous, so you could be like, this is what he looks like, I'm going with him, remember his face in case I don't come back. It probably would be an alarming thing to say, but I just think it's the safest thing to do if you are going to go home with someone. Just make sure your friends know where you're going. I can't believe that, like, mobile phones weren't that much of a big thing in 2004. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but we are all so obsessed with our phones and technology now. When you look back to like 2004, and some people didn't even have phones, it's crazy. I didn't get my first phone until I was about 12, I think, and it was a Sony Walkman, and I used to Bluetooth music. And then I think I had a Motorola, the pink one. And then do you remember LG cookies? I didn't have one of those for ages and I was so jealous. I swear LG cookies were the first ones that had like a front camera, and the thought of being able to take a picture and see yourself at the same time was like mind blowing at the time, because before you'd have to go like this with your phone or put it in the mirror. So that was the days. And then after that it was like BlackBerry, and then I've had an iPhone ever since BlackBerry. Anyway, rant over about mobile phones. Let's move on to the next story. This one says 4th of July bash. I got blackout drunk on the 4th of July and presumably tried to walk home from my friend's house. First thing I remember is being in a really sketchy part of town, about 8 miles away from my home with my phone out of battery. I was still shit-faced, went around knocking on people's doors at 3 in the morning trying to use a phone. I eventually stumbled upon a grocery store at like 5 in the morning and asked for directions. When I walked outside, these two guys who were picking up more booze at the store asked if I wanted a ride. Being a very trusting person and drunk as shit, I accepted. They lit up a blunt and we smoked it as they gave me a ride home. I stumbled into my house at 6 to be screamed at by my girlfriend who thought I was gone because the last text she got from me was, "Help, I'm lost." Don't get into cars with random men at a gas station at 3 in the morning. Everybody watching this video right now, if you're really lost and you're really stressing, call the police and they should come and get you and pick you up. I'm pretty sure. Especially if you're in like a state, like you're really drunk. I'm sure the police will drop you home. Do not get in a car with a random stranger, please, especially at 3 in the morning whilst you're really drunk. But that is the end of today's video. I hope you all liked it. If you did, please remember to smash a massive thumbs up. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, I will see you all soon. Peace.